Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we have Nick here, a student of mine, one of the first people to ever join Fantra. Nick, say what's up.
What's up? What's up, guys?
All right, so this video is going to be entirely raw, entirely unedited, and what we're doing, I'm sure by the title you've already seen, we're scaling Nick's agency from $30,000 per month to $100,000 per month. So, a few months ago, we did a case study with Nick of him getting from dead broke zero to $27,000 per month, and now he's around 30,000, 31,000, and we're hoping for the next hour to an hour and a half to give you guys so much value, more importantly, give Nick so much guidance on how to hit $100,000 per month. So we are tons of stuff lined up for this video, but we are just going to ignore the camera and I'm just going to treat this like a one-on-one coaching session, getting him to $100,000 per month. So you guys are on for tons of value. I'm going to be screen recording my MacBook, showing you guys everything that we do, A through Z, to get him to that point. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. But first things first, Nick, is obviously with scaling, main things that we need to do is first identify why we're not scaling. A lot of guys need to address the future, but the real issues always lie where they're not addressing, and that's the problem. And a lot of guys do another thing where they look at the problem, for instance, I don't have a creator, or my chatting's not good, but there's symptoms underneath it, right? Obviously, if you don't have a creator, it's because you don't have good outreach systems, or your DM's not good. You know, you can keep going layer and layer and layer deeper until you get to that actual problem. So for you, bro, I want to first take a look at your agency, but that's the first thing we're going to do is identify all bottlenecks, okay?
Yeah.
Second to that, we're going to clean up any edges. So what I mean by clean up edges, sharpening swords, anything like that, tons of guys, tons of different, sayings, is essentially figuring out all of the little things in your agency that may not be perfect. And it may not be holding you back, but it may be delaying success for something else to happen. That's the second thing we're going to do. Then, at the end of this, we're going to create a roadmap. So I'm going to break it up, your agency, into 3 different parts: OnlyFans, marketing, and operations. And in those 3, I'm going to just build you out an entire roadmap of what needs to get fixed, what needs to happen, and then kind of KPIs we need to hit to actually ensure we get to 100K per month.
Let's get it.
And I'm looking to do this. I really would want you to do this in the next 5 months or so. Max. Easy. All right, amazing.
Easy work.
So let me go ahead and start recording my screen and pull up Nick's agency overview. So as you can see right here, boys, let me just stop actually presenting the whole thing. So as of right now, bro, let's talk about your models. So tell me a little bit about your models.
Yeah, so we've got 3 models, like nothing crazy. People saying, oh, you need 10 models to scale, you need 20 models to scale. You just need quality leads, you need quality models, and more important, like have communication with them. Like our models were like friends to a level, like it can be to an extent. It's to an extent. You're friends, you're professional, you're everything. So our models are everything to us. We treat them nice, they treat us nice, and they print money, of course. So
amazing. I love that. Okay, cool. So when it comes to your 3 models right here, now 1, 2, and 3 in total, they're making 15, 10, 9, and 5, 5. Now you've started doing hybrid, right?
Yeah.
For how many?
For all of them.
All of them.
For all of them,
Okay. Now, so first things first, this can just be something that, obviously is optional, but for my agency, when we implemented hybrid, we had a call with each and every single one of these models because you are adding an additional service. You're eliminating work that they have to do for work that you are having to do, and not only work and energy, but also more importantly, money.
Yeah.
So did you up your percentage for any of these girls when you started doing hybrid?
Actually, I didn't know. We
Okay.
didn't talk anything about percentages.
Do they know that you're doing hybrid for them?
Yeah. I asked them beforehand, like just to be safe with them, but
Yeah.
talk about it.
Okay, well, future PSA with just models in general, you can sometimes squeeze an extra 5, sometimes even 10% if they want that service. For our agency, we had calls with every single one of the models that we wanted to do hybrid with that we thought would be beneficial because, truth be told, it's not beneficial for every single one. And we asked them, like, hey, do you want this service? If so, for our biggest models, we only ask like for an extra 2%, 3%.
I mean,
but
2%
for
is okay. If the money's good, yeah.
Exactly. That can be $2,000 to all the way to $10,000, depending on how big the creator is. All right. So when it comes to the models, we have 3 models making around, if 15 plus, let's see, 15 plus 10.9K plus 5.5K. So 31,400. Now, are you 50-50 with all of these girls?
60-40, all of them.
60-40 with all of them. So 31-40, 60% of 31, 40, 18,884. 18,884. All right, so between those three girls, that's how much your agency is profiting, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Exactly.
without expenses or employees or anything like
Yeah.
that. So, only profiting less than 20,000. I definitely want you profiting when you get to 100 at least 40K. 10K expenses, blah 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 blah. But this is a good amount to reinvest in because a lot of times guys they get either like really low percentages and they only have 5K to invest, 10K to invest, and especially with you splitting with your brother, it's going to be a little bit harder too. Now, moving on to models is the process. So the actual OnlyFans. So for every single OnlyFans structure, you follow exactly what I say, which is the banner to have it body shot, obviously. The profile picture to be breasted. Let me just double check. Okay. And that'll be blurred for any of you guys watching. But obviously, name and then the bio. I'm trying to trouble thinking about it for all right, I think that's cool. And that is pretty much what you do across the board for every single one. And then, so scripts. Do you have multiple scripts like that for every single one?
Yeah, everyone. I have more. Just an example, like real quick, but I have a lot more, so we can have like things to sell because you can have a whale that's gonna buy these in like a week. So you need content. Like that's a mistake many people do that I've seen. You have just little scripts and then the fan wants to give money, but they can't send anything.
Yeah, no. Scripts need to constantly be, especially if you have whales. But another thing is, do you have verification in your vault?
What do you mean?
Verification. Okay, so this is a kind of insider tip that a lot of guys don't do. Verification, I'll actually just load it up on my inflow here. So I recently made a new inflow, so let me just show you my vault for these girls. So I'm not sure. So here we go. Base verification. You can see here, see how she's holding up fours, twos, ones, fork, spoon, thumbs up, thumbs down, like all that shit.
Yeah.
This is going to funnel into a script. So whenever you're in the OnlyFans and somebody is asking basically, is this real, blah, 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 these are already pre-made so that the chatters can just send them. So a lot of guys will be like, if this is not a chatter, take a picture of you holding up the number 4, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then you're going to send that number. But that's one thing, right? But what you can do is what we call a verification script. So if we go into... Let me find, I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Pink, no, that's for face verification. It might be, I don't think we titled it on accident, but essentially what I'm getting at is you want to have the same outfit that you've had here. So see, she is in a basically black lingerie top. You would want to start off the next script with that black lingerie top. So it's like, hey, now I'm real, blah, 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 chatter can do his job. And then when they go into the first start of the script, stage 1, she's in that same top. So it's double verification, right? Huge with whales because whales will almost always ask for verification before starting to spend a lot of money. So literally ask for the most random pictures. If you guys are watching 1 through 5, fork, spoon, thumbs up, thumbs down, flick off the camera, peace sign, literally anything. Yeah. So that's one. Add that up to all your vault structures because it'll allow you to funnel so much more people over to it.
That's true.
So after verification, let me see if there's anything else I want you doing. Obviously, I don't know. Do you kind of organize your vaults like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just tip for organization. These scripts are kind of messy, but can be. Okay, voice notes. Do you have those?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Sure. Always good to have. Now, another thing that we've been doing is AI voice notes. Have you looked into that? Okay, so using 11 Labs, you can essentially record tons of different audio clips of your model talking, right? You can send her a script, like we generated ours with ChatGPT. It basically it says, essentially the prompt that we put in there is create a voice recording script for our creator to read that hits high notes, low notes, different weird audio voice recordings.
You can clone her voice. So
that we can clone her voice. And then ChatGPT will send a script and literally just tell your model to pull up the script and send you a voice recording on iMessage. Download the voice recording or have her do it in the voice memo notes. Yeah. Download it, send it to you. And then from there, upload it to 11 Labs. and then you can constantly do AI. So
Yeah.
not only voice notes, but JOIs, dick ratings, verification if
and
needed.
you don't bother the model.
You don't bother the
Or
model.
you wait for her to do it.
Exactly. And your chat manager can handle
Yeah.
all of the creation, or you can have somebody do it. So that's another thing, is AI voice notes. And okay, yeah, I think other than that, that's pretty much everything in the vault. Now let me ask you, when you start signing these girls, is scripts some of the first things that you get?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. Now for the chatting process, chatting setup, 2 chatters per model, 1 emergency chatter, deduction policy. Okay, so for 2 chatters per model, bro, is that per model or is that across agency?
Per model.
So you have 2 chatters this model, 2 chatters that model.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have 6 chatters total.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
You know
So
how they mentioned chatters, like I don't have one for each model. I can like have either 2 emergency chatters. It used to be 4. Like had some on the side, not chatting, but I'm like, if I need you to chat, like if my main chatter says, oh my god, something happened, something serious that I can't say it now, I can't skip it. I'll put him on. I'm like, get on. But they're trained. Yeah, they're already trained.
I mean that's the same. That's the exact same that we do. So I'll load up my OFM board really quickly and show you the, let's see, where is it? So yeah, so for us, the shift schedule is going to look a little bit like this. 3 full-time chatters. We like to do 3 by 6 or 3 by 8, excuse me. So 3 chatters, 8 hours. Is that what you guys are doing right now? Okay. And then 1 reliever as well. So do you provide days off for your chatters at all?
Not really.
Okay, so when you get into hiring, which is something that I know you're paying 15% right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think let's just make a note of that. What I'm gonna do, obviously step 1, while we're going through his agency, boys, we're going to be, this is a really easy, simple template that I use for my own agency. It's essentially describing the problem, where we want to get the bottleneck. We want to learn the domino effects of that bottleneck, because a lot of people don't look at that, right? So you may be paying too much for chatting, but what is that actually leaking into? It's leading to less profits. That one's a little bit more A/B, but sometimes it can be, this happens and that happens and this happens. So for this, I would say your biggest bottleneck, obviously not in the entire agency, but one that we need to identify, is overpaying for chatting services. 15%. It's good that you're paying no hourly, but having Greek chatters, non-Western Europe. Well, I mean, like, how are the chatters? What's the ratio?
1 to 6, 1 to 7, like some of them.
Okay. American, and also low chatting ratio 6. Okay, so I know a lot of guys are like they, swear by Filipino chatters. They swear by any really chatters. Anyone can do the job.
Yeah.
Right. However, if you want the highest of highest quality, I've talked to the people that work for the high. I mean, I can't say that on video. I'm under NDA, but I've talked to the people who do the biggest OnlyFans girls in the world. Western Europe, North America, straight commission. I know everyone online. They say $3. Once you get into like these, a little bit more up country, you have to pay hourly. No, commission.
Yeah, I only do commission. Like I don't see the point in hourly, because
exactly.
Someone's gonna perform and they're not perform. Like why get paid the same?
Why get paid the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it gives no incentive. You want incentive. You want to have your team's incentive. And I know that you have a deduction policy. I don't do that. That's new to me. I don't do that. So yeah, describe to me what that is.
For example, I can set like some rules for the chatter that you don't have to break. You can't break for the fan. Like basically you can't send him the second he subscribes to the model. Like you have to get to know him first. You can't just hi PPV boom pay up. So if someone does that mistake, and the chatting manager like sees that mistake, he first reports it back to me. He tells me, oh, this guy did that mistake, and then I would have like a menu list of if you do this mistake, it's minus like $5. If you do this mistake, it's minus 10. Like
Gotcha.
how important the mistake is.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he finds that mistake, it gets deducted from the chatter and goes to him, to his salary, because then he has incentive to find the mistakes.
Okay.
And the chatter has incentive to not make mistakes.
I don't mind that.
So like it works on its own. It's a system that works on its own.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that at all. So to sum this up, overpaying commission for chatting and low ratios. Now this is going to be mainly audience type fault, just because if you guys don't know watching, you're in the Greece market.
Yeah.
I know that we just signed 2 models.
Yeah.
Who we're launching in the US.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna be a bottleneck that we mainly will probably fix month 2 once we get into the roadmap, because there's no real point of restructuring what's working now just to find something that's a little bit cheaper,
Yeah.
right? Because right now it's not terrible. If it was a 1 to 3, I would say we need to scratch
Yeah,
the team.
sure.
But the biggest thing, obviously, some girls will never be able to get to like a 1 to 10 ratio. They just won't happen. You know, when I did my biggest launch ever, 230K in 1 month, I had 1 to 16 ratios, mainly because of the client. It was a great client, and I know that these 3 girls that you have right now, they're good, but they're not great A tier. You know, like they're A tier, but I wouldn't say USP insane, like the best of the best. So, audience type fault, Greece market, non-USA, and I would also say, talk to me about your training process for these guys.
For chatters,
Mm-hmm.
I have the chatting manager do it.
Okay.
So I don't really do it, but they hop on a call first, kind of explain what chatting is, because I like to get people that aren't in the industry, so they don't know. So I'm fresh. They have a fresh mind, so I can teach them my way of chatting, and not being in an agency before me where he didn't know chatting or he learned the mistakes. So I get fresh guys, and then they hop on a call for first time just to explain what chatting is, like the mindset you need to have when chatting and everything. And then they just do like sequence call of like live chatting. Like the manager is there, she's gonna chat, she's gonna explain why I'm sending the message, the psychology behind it. Then they're gonna chat, and the manager is gonna be over them like looking. And once they get the hang of it, then they just hop on their own and start chatting.
Okay, that's not bad. Now, when it comes to main thing is just that ratio. I want to ask, what's your like average sub price for these girls?
$3.
$3.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna leak into. Well, you have $3 sub price. Yeah, lower sub price is going to have a weirder ratio. All right. Now, besides that, it's the audience type faults and also chatters lacking perfection. Simply just because overall having the best of the best chatters, 1 to 10 is just going to make you more money. So one thing I do want to look into later down the line, after we just kind of wrap this up, is the training. Like how you go, like what specifically you say. Obviously we could spend 6 hours just talking about chatting, but I want to make it like the broad thing. So one thing to keep in mind just in the future when we talk is the actual tangible training, like what documents, who's teaching and what, everything like that. But for now, audience type fault and chatters lacking perfection, plausible because of the training, possibly because of the training. Okay. Now, plan to fix, launch USA market clients, and these people are speaking Greece, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Greek. All right. Launch USA market clients. Don't use the current chatters. Let's see. Now. Let me ask you, how long have you had these chatters? Because if you're saying you're bringing them in like brand new, never done before, obviously it's going to take time to get better and better and better at chatting. Like, how long have these guys been chatting for you?
Maximum, like I have one guy that's been with us for 1 year, and then the other guys have been with us for like 3 months now.
Okay. How's the 1 year guy? Is he normally better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And your chat manager?
He's been with me for 2 years, I think.
2 years.
He was doing like OFM before, like he knew OFM, then he quit because something happened, like personal issues. So then he didn't have the time, and I'm like, come be my chatting manager, because he was good at chatting.
Okay. Who does your account managing?
For what?
Scripts, OF, content, customs.
I do them.
You do them.
Yeah.
Okay. Why haven't you hired somebody for that? Is there a reason?
I don't think there's a specific reason. Just like, I like doing it myself because I know it's gonna be done 100% correctly. Then have someone like do something wrong and like fuck up everything.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's the thing about the what I call the 100% clause, and a lot of guys get this is like, and this is something that I was mainly struggling with. One of my biggest things was, how do I know when to hire if like the biggest thing is like, oh, I don't want to hire because it's not going to get done 100%. It's not going to be done at the perfect level, right? If it does require your brain, as in like you need to be making those decisions, sure. But ultimately, bro, you and I both know you could be putting towards more tangible tasks, growing Instagram accounts, signing more clients, communicating in assets, buying assets, things like that. So what I want you to do is I want you to, and this can also be a part of it, is Nick is spending too much time within the OF side of the agency, which is custom request, script building, content management, etc. Okay, so why I say that's a problem, bro, is because you can film one SOP going over what a script looks like, and your chat manager's been with you 2 years, right?
Yeah.
He knows what the fuck that looks like, okay? So my chat manager in my agency is my account manager. I pay him, do you pay him hourly at all or straight commission? Commission.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can either pay him slightly more commission or add an hourly to his wage when he is dealing with these problems, because all of those 5 minute conversations that you have with your model is taking away so much focus. Like my thing is like time is valuable, yes, of course, but what I deem more valuable is my focus. Like, have you ever been working on something and you didn't think about anything else besides that one task for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it got done so fucking well?
Yeah.
But like if every 15 minutes you had to go, open the door or do
I get so disfocused.
That's the same thing with business. Even if you're spending days on one thing, if you have to bring your focus somewhere else, this task suffers from that.
Yeah.
Even if it's 1%, 0.5%, could be more, could be less, it will suffer from it. So what I recommend is either having a meeting with your chat manager and filming SOPs about account management. So filming SOPs about what kind of scripts perform best, the bedroom ones, the bathroom ones. I mean, the sequence of stages, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10. The biggest thing here though is like, at the end of the day, for a custom request, group chat, WhatsApp, your chat manager, the model, don't ever talk, but just be there so that the chat manager can say, hey, Marissa, we got a custom request in, here is it. Why would you have to do that? You should not be doing that. Mm-hmm. Sending text like that is not your job, right? That's maintaining the agency. That doesn't require your brain, doesn't require your time, it's maintaining the agency. So with that being said, let's either pay the chat manager a little bit more, slightly, not much. Like, it's a fucking brain. It's nothing. Or hire an account manager. Believe it or not, on guys on Telegram, anywhere, tons of guys, like, they literally have been in OFM for years, and they've only done account management. They know how to talk to models, they know, and just simply put in a group chat. Like, I don't do any sort of fancy, like, he talks to this person, talks to this person. No, it's a group chat with us three in it, and then they just say, hey, this is what we need. She sends it back through the either Google Drive or Telegram. They upload it, right?
And it just exists in the group chat, basically.
Yeah, you just exist to make sure that it's happening, right? And if there's problems, you can address it. You can be there, but you don't want to be thinking about all of that, because at the end of the day, how many custom requests or anything like that do you get, like, weekly?
Yeah, we get a lot.
A lot, right? So you're constantly sending that text. That's an elimination number one. And I would also say, so lack of not having a account manager, hire account manager / pay the chat manager slightly more to fill position. Yeah, that's gonna save you a bunch of time. Resources, we'll get into that in a second. Now, back to what we were talking about. Actually, we can kind of continue on. See the date of this, 04. But okay. Now, second, let's get into bottleneck 2. I want to see. Let's see. Previously, we were talking about not just let's see if there's anything else we need to cover for the chatters. So you pay your chatters commission. Once we launch those USA models, we need to hire a new chat team because one, you don't want to be having 1-to-6 ratios, and also your Greece guys, I'm sure, do they know English, all of them?
They do, yeah, but it's not like they know English, but they don't know American culture.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a limiting factor because they don't know the slang words they use.
Exactly. And so like what we've done is we've stopped hiring from Filipino, any of those guys anymore. Strictly Western Europe or North America, one of the two. And what we pay is around 7 to 10%. Now we have much bigger pages. We have pages doing 50K, 100K. We have much bigger pages. So 7 to 10% is applicable. You may pay still 11 to 15% on smaller pages doing 10, 15, 20K per month. You still may pay that. However, the revenue that you get, the revenue that you generate from having better chatters will put you in a higher profit margin.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I'm meaning from that is if you can have a 1-to-6 ratio and generate 1 to 10, like 10K flat, let's just say that, and then have a 1 to 15 ratio, but you're generating $15,000, chatters might get paid an extra, let's say, $1,500, $2,000, but you're making an additional $3,000.
So when hiring, would you go about saying like it's gonna be, let's say, 15%, and then as the page grows, your percent it's gonna go down, or do you talk to them afterwards about it, or do you not do that?
I don't really do that because whenever I put a chat team in, it's not really per model. I hire chatters for my agency because no matter what, the chatter is going to be, this. I pay them per account.
Yeah.
So for instance, like if I have a chatter who's chatting on 3 different models accounts, and I do that by the way. Like, do you do that? Like where you have 2 chatters, like if you have 2 chatters on a shift right now, are they chatting for multiple models at one time?
No, they're chatting for one.
One model.
Yeah.
So you have to have 4 chatters. So let's say if you have 2 models, you have to have 4 chatters on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you not multi-chat?
I haven't tried it before, but I was thinking like if they're on many models at once, the quality can drop because they're gonna be like everyone chatting.
The quality can drop, but at the end of the day, with the right SOPs in place and like if you train them on that schedule, because like if you're taking them fresh and you tell them this is normal, like this is how you do it, their brain will get used to it. It's not that hard. Like for instance, have you ever started texting this friend and then text another friend?
Yeah.
You're thinking about the conversation, but you're plugged out. Now you're in this one. Plugged out. Now you're in this one, right? Same thing with the chatters because you're paying basically. I mean, luckily you're not paying hourly.
Yeah.
I mean that's the one thing. But I would have multi-chat just so because it's less people. It's less people to deal with, right? Your chat manager has less people to deal with. So look into that as well. So that's another thing with the chatting is look into teaching the chatters multi-chatting and simply like go on inflow whenever you're on like your smart messages to teach your chatters how to do this. All you have to do is go on inflow. That's fine. It's still recording. And then, for instance, if I want to start messaging for one of our new clients, just go up here, add a creator, and you can go on this client as well, and you can see like this is what we're like always doing. So you can go on this guy, chat. Hold on, boom, boom, chat, whatever, and then they can go over here, because like at the end of the day, you don't have 24/7 messages.
Yeah.
You're on 10K pages. The guys are going to chat and they're probably going to wait 20 minutes for another chat to come in, right? So having multiple creators up, bro, I hate to say it, it's not great, it's not optimal, but I've had 8 clients on like one chatter, 8 clients. Yeah, it's kind of fucked. But at the same time, whenever you have that one chatter working, just tell them to do 3, 2. Like what I would do if I was in your position is I would just hire 3 guys. I would hire 2 main chatters or 3 main chatters that you keep 24/7. Give them each a day off. Better work quality. Better, you can even pay them less because they get that day off. Because at the end of the day, the harder the job, the more requirements, the more you have to pay. Yeah. So when you give a day off, like you're separating yourself from agencies that don't.
So if there's a guy that says I want to work 7 days a week, should I let him work 7 days a week, or should I be like, no, you need to have a day off just to clear your mind? Because I've had guys like telling me I want to work 7 days a week.
If he wants to work 7 days a week, that's fine. But your reliever is going to like either not suffer necessarily, but your reliever won't, for instance, be making as much money. So he has to be okay with that. But a lot of the times, like if he's like, oh, I want to work 7 days a week, you can simply just be like, hey, listen, bro, like you can either do this or you can just
Gotcha.
not get hired.
Gotcha, yeah.
One of the two. Yeah, I'm pretty gray,
Yeah.
white, black and white with chatters. Don't really give them a lot of leeway. So, besides all of those little chatting fixes, let's move in. Vault is covered. We talked about that. Chatting, I like this deduction policy. I honestly don't mind, especially if you're running commission. That's fine. So, I know that we put all this in place, but we didn't actually enter it. So, if our models are majority, are they all like 1 to 6?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like it
really?
can be like 1 to 7.5, 1 to 8 maximum.
Okay. Well, I would say whenever you get a chance, enter this, like just to
Yeah.
be clear. Do you know your highest per chance?
Highest it's ever been.
No. Which model is like usually concurrently the highest chatting ratio?
It's let me see the pictures. Let's see what one it is. The third one.
The third
It's
one.
usually the highest, yeah.
Okay, at like 1 to 7, 1 to 8.
1 to 8, yeah.
Okay. And do you have inflow on here?
Yeah.
Okay, can you pull up your inflow? And I just want to take a look at the chats and see the differences between the chatting.
Like the chat themselves, how they talk.
Yeah. And mainly, or no, not the, yeah, hold on, wait, let me, not this, totally wrong. I wanted you to go to, do you ever look at this where you go to manage employees and then go to, oh wait, no, it isn't growth.
It's analytics, I think.
Oh, it's in analytics. Oh yeah, employee reports, there we go. So can you do base model here? Filters, yeah, filter by creator. So with, which one is she?
The second one.
Second
I think
one.
it's the second one.
Okay, so if you guys don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to inflow, and then I'm going to analytics, employee reports, and I'm just looking at which model has kind of the best golden ratio, has the best, because this will tell you. So like for instance, what I'm trying to get at here is if we know that model 3 has the highest chatting ratio, right? That could be totally on accident, and it could be for the sole reason that we just send more PPVs, or we send more scripts, or we send less PPVs, right?
Yeah.
It could be for one weird thing. So what I'm trying to do is recognize patterns. Pattern recognition in business, I think I was mentioning this the other day actually. Pattern, or one of my one-on-one students, pattern recognition is one of the most beneficial skills you can ever learn, just to recognize patterns. So that's what I'm trying to do here is, okay, if we know this model has the highest ratio, let's look at the chatters, like how, right? Because even if it's a golden ratio or they simply just send more chats, that means, hey guys, stop sending more PPVs on these two accounts, because on this one you send 12% less and we have a higher ratio. On this one we send 12% more and we have a lower ratio. You can kind of train your chatters based off the patterns that you recognize. So on employee performance for her, okay,
This you choose this is the main guy I have.
Giannis. Okay, cool. So golden ratio, not put A. Okay. And then if we do do you know what these are? Like all of these?
Yeah, I don't know the golden ratio.
So golden ratio is essentially the PPVs you send versus messages, right? The total ratio is messages, sent, and spirit. So if you're sending, for instance, 7% is basically means 7.63% of the time when chatting you send a PPV, which is pretty good. It's quite low. So it's not low, but it's not too high. So if I go to mine, employee reports, employee performance, wait, hold on, overview, filter, set by creators, let's just do, okay, so, bro, I have so many random people here. No. Okay, so on this, we're sending PPVs 3% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's not much. So like I said, I mean, you know me, GFE, more relationship, more texting, more things. But if we see 0, okay, now this is 7%. So you want to be like anything below, I would honestly say 3% is you need to send more. Anything above 15% is too
Way
much.
too much,
You're
yeah.
sending PVVs way too much. Now I don't even think this is by creator. I think it might be totally different. But overall, you can get the point of just this is something that I do every single month is I will go into here and I don't like a lot of guys they talk about tracking every single metric and looking at every one and be like, oh, that's not the industry standard. Fuck the industry standard, bro. The industry standard is non-existent. There's no such industry standard because if you have a blonde with big tits making XYZ and he's like, oh, I have 1-to-10 ratio. Then you have, a BBW with a whole other niche and she's like, oh, this is my numbers.
It's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, how are you gonna have the industry standard, right? So instead, look at in your models what's doing the best, and then look inside of that for pattern recognition. So I really wouldn't look at it as in like I need to up my chatting ratio. It's like what is making my chatting ratio go up? That's what I need to up. Okay.
Yeah, the mistake I was doing is I was looking what works on one model and implementing it to the other, but not the actual why. I wasn't looking deeper. I was looking just like very surface.
Surface, and a lot of guys do. Like I was on a call with, I think literally today, my other, 1-to-1 student Jack, you saw me on the call, and he was all just stuck on I need to sign a client. I don't know why I don't have a client. I need to send DMs. I need to send outreach, and he was like, well, where do I start this at? He's like, well, the reason we don't have a client is we haven't made a curated DM. We haven't done this, and he was getting so overwhelmed because you really can. You can go layer and layer and layer, and you should go into those layers because honestly, the deeper you go, the easier it is to solve. You'll eventually get to pick up the fucking laptop at the end of the day when you get down there. So the deeper you go, the easier it is, but also the more critical it is.
You can get lost in your mind easily.
Easily, bro. And because if I show you, a little bit off topic, we'll make this quick, but if I show you his agency board when we were going into everything, I mean, this is what we did on 1-to-1 call, which is basically, sign a client, which was his biggest priority, send DMs, this can be looking overwhelming.
Yeah.
But the reason I do this for all those guys is because I can simply at the beginning sign a client.
I mean, having a board helps really much than having it on paper. For me at least, I like to visualize it. I can't have it on paper or anything. It's too you see everything and where the pump's going to start.
Exactly.
Here's step by step. You can make it look nice.
No, that's why I started implementing these. So I gave him, I remember at the end of the call, and this might be for you too, it's like, bro, I'm so overwhelmed, I have so much work to do, this, that, and the third. And I stopped and said, listen, Jack, no, you don't have that much work to do. You have 2 things. I told you to sign a client, I told you to get clear and study the market. That's all I told you to do.
Yeah, that happens to me.
He was like, bro, what do you mean? We had an hour and a half call. I took up I was like, yeah, there's 1,000 things that need to get done to do those 2 things. But at the end of the day,
important things,
at the end of the day, these are the 2 things that I care about. But these do include a bunch of different things. A/B testing DMs, sending these DMs, fixing the page, studying the niche, getting clear on everything. And here he is, working on it right now. My fucking guy. But, anyways, back to this. OF conversion. This is another thing I want to talk about. So, I don't know. Actually, let's just skip. Let's come back to this. Let's take a little quick reroute. I know something we've been talking about this whole trip. You already know what I'm mentioning. Instagram bans. So Instagram bans are huge. I don't know exactly. This video should get posted pretty soon, but my agency accounts or agency Instagrams have been getting banned as well. Probably not as commonly as yours.
Yeah.
It sounds like every single one that you make gets banned.
It's like it hates me.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
Mark's definitely not.
He hates me.
He's not, bro. He's not. So, Instagram accounts getting banned, leading to low following / audience, leading to low rev. Now, banned IG accounts. So, no proven way to safely create and grow IG accounts. I mean, honestly, you've grown IG accounts in the past.
Yeah.
I've seen you do it, right? It's mainly creating these and being able to actually post on these.
Mm-hmm.
So, no proven way to safely create IG accounts. The root cause from this, what we've been kind of identifying what we've been talking about is obviously if you were a new link in bio instead of link in highlights instead of in highlight or link in highlights instead of in bio, fixing your link, making sure you have multiple links. You've done all that.
Yeah.
And you're still getting banned. So it leads us to either a couple things. Either your connection somehow, the phone somehow, or the Apple ID.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
That's what I want to test right now. That's actually
Exactly.
the next thing on my list.
Exactly.
Test if there's connection with phone, and I've got like 2 or 3 other things I want to test, and like see what works. That's the only way to do it because Instagram, you can't know what's going on in Instagram's head. You know, mark that guy is so random. So
random.
there's no proven way to like know what will work before doing it. So I just have found like every solution I can think of, and I'm gonna test everything just to see what works.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we need to do. And like your resources for that. Now another thing is if we do it and we find out it is the connection, it is the phone. Obviously that's something you have to do in your own time.
Yeah.
I know you brought one phone to temporarily post for your models, but if we do that and it is the connection, it is the phone, we have a couple options from there.
Yeah.
Either purchase more phones and reroute, or we were talking about today, look into Glark, look into these online phone hosting softwares. So one thing I'm just going to note here is Glark. Now, that's another bottleneck. So far, you know, at the end of the day, bro, you can look at an agency and be like, there's a million things wrong, you know, I don't know what to do. I love this, where you can just be like, okay, this is for chatting, this is marketing, this is just an Instagram account, pretty simple. And then at the end of the day, you have a plan to fix. We're going to test the phone, we're going to test the connection, the Apple ID, we're going to see what works between the three. Second to this for the chatting, we're going to launch market clients. Don't use a current chatter, so we're going to rehire. When it comes to rehiring, what are you doing right now for hiring chatters?
Right now, in Greece, run an ad on my Instagram. Just message me, get on a call, see if it's a guy that I can actually talk with. Because there are people who look smart, but you can explain something to them, and it will take like 5 business days for them to understand.
Bro, yeah.
I can't have that in my agency. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
how
So I would either continue ads and obviously switch language, add requirements. You can add smart logic. Do you do it to them to just say straight DM me, or do you have a form attached to that ad?
No, I usually just say DM me.
Okay. And do you do all those DMs?
Yeah.
All right. What I want you to do from now on is in that ad, make a simple form. You can do this with any single ad to where you click learn more and they answer questions right there. How old are you? Name. Why do you want the position? What languages do you speak? Do you have experience? Or any other questions that you do or don't want to know about them, or do want to know about them, basically just regarding, is this somebody you want to work with? Because last thing you want to do, like I don't want to spend 1 second of my day dealing with something that I shouldn't be dealing with. And essentially what that is like, yeah, you should be dealing with chatter DMs, but should you be DMing somebody that's a chatter that has no intention of taking it seriously? Right?
Yeah, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you just want to eliminate that possibility. So add smart logic for disqualification into those ads to get a bigger lead pool and a more accurate lead pool for what the type of chatters you want. That's one thing. You know, I can honestly, let's just write this down. Add lead form to add smart logic disqualifying bad leads. Another thing. Hire new chatters using ads. I also want you to send in a bot message through Telegram. What I want you to do with Telegram, though, a lot of guys get this confused, is they'll do Telegram and they'll just sit there text these guys all day long. I don't. I say DM me the word blank, and then when they DM me it, I simply copy and paste a Google form link, smart logic disqualification. If they do qualify, I set up a Zapier automation to when somebody qualifies for this Google form, I just get a notification on my phone with their number, and that's why I can text them, right? So it's free if you know, because like at the end of the day, how many leads do you usually get from those ads?
I can get like 10 a day.
10 in a day? How long do you run it?
3 days, 4 days.
Okay, so
It
you're
can be longer. Like
so you're getting a chatter basically out of like a 50 lead pool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we usually look for a 300 lead pool. Because at the end of the day, it's simple logic. If you get the best chatter out of 50 people, you do have the best chatter out of 50 people.
Yeah.
But my chatter is going to be better because I got the best chatter out of 300 people, right?
That's true.
Just logically. So, Telegram, I want you to send minimum 5 or not 5, send minimum X amount per day, literally just depending on the groups. If you have 30 groups to send a message in, send 30 messages. If you don't, if you only have 10, send 10, right? But send this for 5 days. And this way, you'll probably get, lead pool of around 50 to 100. And then Telegram sending those DMs, sending like your Telegram message is literally going to be looking for English speaking chatters, must be located in Western Europe or this, like the biggest requirements, right? And then give me the word chats, right? All caps, right? And then once you get that, send them a Google form. If you like we usually do that for 5 days to a week. And then once you get that, you'll probably get around 200 submissions if you're sending those messages every single day. And so 200 lead pool. And then from there, you now have 250 leads to go through. And with Smart Logic, you only talk to the guys who are qualified. All right? And then get on a call with only the best of the best.
Yeah.
I usually only hire chatters with experience. I know you don't, because it's kind of a Greek, it's unique, but you're honestly going to have better luck hiring chatters with experience. It's going to save you the time of training. It's going to save you kind of the whole, what am I doing here, inflow. It's going to save you time, because I'm assuming you're training.
Do you check like their experience? Do you check like if they know the wrong way to chat or no? Or do you just teach them your way of chatting?
So this is what I do. I'll block this through exactly, actually. Let's just go over somewhere else on this, and I'll block you through my exact hiring process for chatters. So step 1 is going to be, let me pull it back. Step 1 is going to be generate lead pool of around 300 people. And then I am qualifying using Smart Logic. Usually will eliminate 60%. That's usually what I see. And my elimination questions are going to look like, let me increase the size. Do you have experience? This is going to be a simple yes, no, right? And why I ask this, and obviously I'm pretty sure you already understand the answer: yes, accepted, no, not accepted, right? And then another one is, do you confirm you read the requirements? You can do this, or you can, oh shit, bro, I just close out my artwork?
Yeah.
Bro, what the hell?
Have you had guys like answer like, yes, I meet the requirements, and they don't?
Yeah, and it is very, very annoying,
Yeah.
but that's why I no longer do the chatter screening process, and nor the hiring. But let me go back to this, load this up. So a better question, honestly, is like, do you live in Western Europe? Or honestly, another thing you can do, what I like to call, is kind of stealth elimination. For instance, you could say something instead of like, do you live in Western Europe, yes or no? And then because if they say, oh, I want them to live in Western Europe, but they think they're smarter than you, like, oh, I'm just going to say yes, they'll never know, right?
Yeah.
You can say something like, where are you located? And then provide in that question, USA, Western Europe, other, whatever, and then based off that answer. Because then they don't know which one you want them to pick, right? So where are you located? Another one that I like to ask just to get competence is, what is your highest education? And then from here you can say high school, you can say college, you can say still in college or university, wherever, and then just pick the most applicable. It's like filling out a job application, because you want to pick the best of the best, right? It's not
what will work best, like high school, college? What will work best in your experience?
Either college or like still in college. And then I write like under this one or in parentheses, must have minimum 6 hours availability of quiet time, like per day, right?
Yeah.
Or and then you can go through this and you can do why do you want this job? And like sometimes, bro, when we're like really struggling to find good chatters, we'll put this question there, make it entirely optional, say that it's optional, but the people that don't fill it out get rejected.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Just because like if they're not willing to put the time to say why they want the job, reject it. Right? So like you can use so many different ones. Like the way that I figure out exactly how I want to like structure the whole thing is through ChatGPT. Like me and ChatGPT will literally sit there and talk about like, okay, this probably will be the best person, this won't be the best person, this, that, and the third. But this will eliminate all your bad leads. And so finally, when you finally get to accepted, right? Accepted, then this training process comes in. So training process is gonna look a little bit something like this. First thing that happens, number one always, is booked into the, well actually what really happens is a screening call. In this, we get Wi-Fi speed, we get availability confirmation, we get typing test, we get experience confirmation. What this is I tell them to, I basically load up my inflow if they don't have an inflow they're logged into. If they have an inflow they're not into, guaranteed experience, right? But if they don't, then I load up my inflow and I tell them, navigate me to Messages Pro and tell me exactly how to send a DM. Like, and you know, some guys, they literally will tell me they have experience.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, say that, and they're like, go to Messages.
Click Messages Pro.
Yeah, they say click Messages Pro. I'm like, all right, where do I go to click the DMs? And like, if they pause for 2 seconds, goodbye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you don't have time to deal with guys who say they have experience and they've chatted for 20 minutes before they got fired, right? The last thing you want. But
for a typing test, do you look like for a certain amount of words per minute?
it is. Oh, what is it? Here we go. I got you, bro. I don't know. I forgot the exact one. It is 45 words per minute that we look for. And then for internet speed, 5 upload, 40 download minimum. Speaking level, self-assessed, availability, self-assessed. We also do a live chatting test. So this is and inflow check. What the live chatting test is, just to see, you know, the competentness of them. They may have experience, they may be totally incompetent, right? So I simply say, you know, hey, we're just gonna go into the messages real quick. I'm gonna be the fan, you be the model, do your job. I don't say anything other than that.
No.
And I just see how they chat. If they chat terribly, I will tell them, I don't really think this is for us.
Yeah.
Like, another thing that like guys don't get is like, I've literally had students tell me, I hired him just because, you know, we got along on the call, like, I don't know, he's not the best chatter, but I'm like, brother, this is business. If you came here to make friends, get the fuck out of OFM, bro.
It's a thing people need to understand.
It's a thing that people need to understand. If you take business personally, you will always suffer because person to person is just, you know, common humanity restrictions that you can't have. But with business, it's not about
I mean,
you.
you're gonna go along with a guy that goes out and smokes weed and goes to the club and doesn't work and like makes like $500 a month. You're gonna go along with him. Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Are you gonna do the same thing with him? Are you gonna let him drag you down? Like,
exactly, bro. You cannot base anything off person. So, screening call. And then once they pass that, obviously rejected, accepted. And I have we have so many different people in my agency because of the size of it. I would do this if I were you. But I would really make this, when I was doing this, around like $70K a month, I was making this so strict because I didn't want to waste my time with calls. But I would also do what I call, a lot of guys don't do this, batch days and batch hours of hiring. People have no clue how to hire. This is something that you probably, you know, haven't even thought of. Put all your calls on one day if possible. Like back to back to back to back and make them 15 minutes. Like do not waste your time on calls. Like if I ever schedule a meeting with anyone in my agency, they know it's going to be less than 20 minutes and they know it's going to be insanely important. I don't take meetings for no reason, right? So when I was at like 70K a month doing this, brother, I was taking these calls, 15 minutes, all right, I gotta go, I got another one. You're not a fit. Yeah. Sorry, bye. Right? I'm gone. I'm on to the next.
So you're gonna be pushed to actually
exactly. Yeah. Because if you like some guys, they'll just like, yeah, we'll schedule 30 minutes on this day, 30 minutes on this day. Your head is everywhere. Yeah, so just it's not the biggest deal in the world, but just a tip.
Helps, like,
I like to put all my hiring exactly in one day. And then it gets into the training process. 2 things happen here, or a few things. Booked into Discord. And then from this, they are, let me just make this smaller, try to make this, they are provided SOPs in corresponding corresponding channel. So, all right, fuck it, whatever. So what that means essentially is once they're booked into the Discord, I have a channel in my Discord that basically just says start here. It's going to be videos of me walking them through the Discord. It's going to be videos of me telling them what to do next. It's going to be videos of me telling them where to navigate to the training. 3 videos, very, very simple, eliminates me having to have that conversation, right? So the second I send them this one Discord link, hey, go ahead and start. The videos that you'll see in the start here tab will tell you exactly what to do. It does exactly that. It tells them exactly what to do. And then from here, they are met with the chat manager. So essentially my chat manager is trained to every single time there is a new chatter, he's going to DM them. They're going to set up their first shift. Everything's going to get correspondent, with you. You'll probably set up their first shift because you have to coordinate with that chat manager, or you have a chat manager. You honestly can tell him to do it. But tell your chat manager to send him a DM. Then your chat manager is going to be in chatter monitoring. So very, very important. This right here always is the first and second shift. So I do this every single day. My chat manager, I'm not gonna lie, Sam, she is a boss. But for most guys, it's kind of redundant. But first and second shift are monitored. So what does this mean? First and second shift are monitored. So obviously I'm hiring with only experience. So if you're not hiring with experience, for anyone watching or you right now, what you could do, what I did at probably 30, 40K, is I had the chat manager chat and the chatter watch them.
Yeah.
Now I only hire with experience, only the best of the best, Western Europe, North America, more competent people. They chat live. You can see the screen sharing right there. And my chat manager is watching them chat. Okay. So for questions, for training, if they are literally typing something up and she doesn't think it's the best, she'll be like, no, don't send that. You want to be more this way. It is a 8-hour training session.
Yeah.
It's not.
So that's how they learn.
Yeah. It's not like we're doing right now, where we're speed running this and really diving into it. But they're just, both there, both on mute, as you can see. But she'll unmute every once in a while.
Yeah.
He'll unmute every once in a while, and just go through it. So first and second shift are always monitored, and this is told to the chatter by the chat manager after setting up first shift. And also with this, I know what I told you about multi-chatting. When the first and second shift, I only have them chat on one account. I don't do multiple models. They're not fucking up multiple.
You just put on multiple,
Exactly. Chat manager sends chatter message once booked in. Alright. And then the chat manager is going to introduce them to the EOS reports. So basically everything else regarding it, end of shifts, they're going to explain all of this and answer any questions that they have. So my chat manager is trained the first time that they get in this for their first shift. She's going to say, okay, Jamel, before we get into anything, your shift starts in about 20 minutes here, but we usually have 10, 15 minutes. I want to answer any questions you have regarding the training materials that you saw, what the model you're chatting on is, inflow, literally any questions before we start. If they don't have any questions, no problem. Yeah. But if they do, you really want to make sure those get banged out first. All right, hold on. I'm going to go get my Monster Energy drink real quick. All right, so let's move into... Let me make sure I'm still audio recording. Perfect. All right, so let's move into any questions so far?
No. Everything's clear.
Nothing.
Everything's clear.
Everything's clear.
I ask questions as we go, so we don't have them.
That's what I love about you, Nick. All right. So besides hire new chatter, generate lead pools, add lead form to add. Let's see. We need to also test connection for new IG accounts. Okay. Let's see. Anything else that we discussed? Oh yeah, also add verification for vault leading into script. There we go. And what else did we discuss? Any fixes that I'm missing that we already discussed? Chatters for models. Oh yeah. Implement multi chatting for chatters. 3 chatters, 1 reliever. Okay. And let's see, OF's good, that's good. All right, now that we've covered, honestly, OF a lot. OF is good, we've talked about it. I also want you to, just as well, Nick, to familiarize yourself with the inflow statistics and start learning patterns just for future. Now, let's talk about marketing. We've talked about chatting. We've cleaned up a few edges. Talked about the vault. Cleaned up a few edges there. Chat or marketing. When it comes to, besides the Instagram account getting banned, you're a pretty good marketer.
Yeah.
I mean, you pull views even with some. I mean, I remember obviously you guys didn't hear this conversation, but I remember we've spoken in the past, and I'm like, yo, I don't know how this bitch is even pulling views. Like your Model 3, I honestly am surprised she's making 5,500. Like that's impressive for a model like that.
And that's because most of her accounts were banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've reached her 10K that month. Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. Okay, so good shit. Obviously all of this is blurred right now as you guys can see, but this girl, this account, new because all of her accounts got banned. Every single one.
Banned, yeah.
Okay, crazy, and she's still making 500. Do you have this girl on other social medias? TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried X?
No, in Greece it's not very big.
Not very big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like TikTok is pulling views.
Okay. I mean, honestly, like, I'm sure you boys wouldn't love to hear this, but you've been working with me for over almost a year now.
Yeah.
You know marketing from me. I've reprimanded you on marketing. You've posted bullshit and I've called it out before. Like what I do and I don't. And you guys too. Like if you've been in my Friday calls or if you joined any really of my content, you know what I like to look for. But besides that, do you have any questions regarding marketing? Especially let's get in before I
Questions? I don't say any questions because like Greek market is kind of very niche. It's not like US market. But now that I'm getting into more US market, like launching those 2 models, especially the one I signed today over here, just A tier. I think I'm gonna need some help with her.
She's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Do you want to review that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
The only like question I would have is how to let me see.
Yeah, what's her IG?
I'm gonna look on your personal IG. I can pull up the Google Drive if you want. I don't know if Theo has her personal IG. Let me see.
You don't know her IG?
What?
Do you know?
You signed her today.
Oh, you signed her.
Yeah.
Theo signed her. Theo, okay. PSA guys, Theo is his business partner in the agency. Okay, I can look it up. Yeah, let me not say it out loud. Okay. Alright, so absolute dime piece of a girl from the UK. Very, very good quality. Let's look at the views. Okay, so very new. Okay. Okay. Alright, so with this type of girl, you want to captivate on a few things. Her body is good. She has a nice build, but there's no USP with the build, alright?
Yeah.
She's your average girl build, right? She doesn't have huge tits, she doesn't have huge ass, at least from what I'm seeing in the reels. But what she does have is an abnormally attractive face, which is rare in the OnlyFans market, okay? So what I want you to do is market it the same way that I'm marketing another one of my creators. So I'm gonna pull her up as well, and I showed you this creator today. She's a new signee of ours. We haven't even started marketing her, but you can see everything that we do is with her face. Stories with her face. Like, obviously, I could do so many different things with this model, but I captivate with her face. And we just started this, right? But posting videos like this, where it's, very, very simple. Posting videos, this is what she posted. Like I said, we just signed her. We haven't marketed her yet. But I want you to take note of this account right here and follow along with the progression of it because it's honestly kind of similar. right? Obviously, this girl has slightly more attributes than this girl does, but what you're going to get from this girl is caption videos. This girl, you're going to get possible skits. Possible, it really just depends. You can do talking head videos as well.
Yeah.
Very captivating. And there's also that other girl that I was telling you about that we scaled. I showed you earlier. She was at like 5K, 6K views, and now she's hit 5.6 million views on this video. And she has also hit right here 1.4 million. Before, like I was showing you, she was at like 4,000 views, 2,000 views, 3,000 views, almost nothing, right? We've scaled her all the way this way. So,
He's a 10.
talking head, Snapchat, talking, skits. So like I said, we do the same thing. As I say, always, caption videos. But this is talking. And her most performing one, like this one, would honestly go crazy with that girl. Because it's a very attractive, like, my model is less attractive than that girl, right? So record the same one, you're going to pull more views than me, right? Obviously, it's by chance of the algorithm, but having, like, this sort of thing.
Yeah, that's going to be good with him.
Yeah. Very, very simple, right? And you're going to be pulling more views. And honestly, what you want to happen, by the way, like, a lot of guys, they think, like, they see a girl with 100,000 followers and they're like, oh, she's so good at marketing. She's pulling 50K, 60K, 70K. No. If you're not pulling more views and followers, you suck at marketing. Look at this. 37K followers, 230, 500,000. We just posted that one. But 42,000, 50,000, 90,000, 5.6 million. Every single one of these videos,
it's above the
maybe this one, is above the follower.
Yeah.
That's what you want to look for. That's when you know you have a good account, right? And then you can also look, okay, this one got below the followers. What was kind of different about it? Confusing, different. It was an oddball. We shot an oddball, it didn't work, right? We didn't post it again. We posted another one like this. This one worked. I think we repeated that like 1 or 2 times. But I think with a really attractive facially girl is going to be posing videos with audios, caption videos. If you're wanting to reach the US market more, little tip, if you're getting a high Indian or low or like third world country audience, what I want you to do if you're doing posing videos, like pulling great views but a bad audience, all you have to simply do is add captions. Add American slang, something about Trump.
On the video itself or as a caption on the
video itself, all right? And also another thing that I want to mention to you, and I was actually talking to another one of my students today about, is content repeatability. So, very clearly, you want your content to be repeatable. Would you say that this girl's content is repeatable? Like, the types of content she films, right? You can narrow it down. Talking head, caption, like, you can narrow all this down. That's what you want. That's repeatability, right? If I asked Lola, my client, hey, what kind of content do you post? She would say, oh, you post caption videos, talking videos, and skits using, my USP, which is my tits, right? Those are the 3 posts. But do you see how not one of these videos look the same? That's another aspect that nobody talks about in this industry, scrollability. Not only does it matter for when you're just sitting here doing this and scrolling through all these different videos, but it also matters to Instagram's algorithm. So let me show you something. This girl, if I open Discord and go to the ticket for one of my students' models, all this will be blurred, of course. He was pulling, about a month ago, insanely good views. He was pulling probably close to 20, 30, where was it? Okay, this was before they signed, I think. Or no, here it was. So like 20K, 40K, like he was pulling good views, right? But then once we defined exactly what kind of styles we wanted to do, he started pulling good views at the start, right? 10K, 160K. I think it was mainly when he got up. Okay, no, this is more recent. It was farther back. He was pulling good and honestly more views, or just had an outstanding one every once in a while. But since he stayed so overly consistent with the setting, it started pulling less and less views. So you can see here back then it was like 30K, 10K, 4K, 8K. Like he'd pull good views. Now 2, 3, 8, 4, 5, 4, 5,
Yeah.
2, 3. He hasn't cracked 10K views
Yeah.
in like over a fucking like 6 weeks. Why? Because look, does this not look like the same angle every single one of
She
these
only
videos? Is the
changed
same.
up the angle. Like,
She
so,
never switches
yeah.
up the setting, and also listen to it.
You think I didn't notice you staring at my lips?
Listen to the voice once again.
I was gonna say something.
Once again.
Wait, what?
Exact same
Yeah,
tone
yeah.
every single time. It's a mistake that everyone makes in this industry. Instagram detects this, and it's even proven on my Instagram account. So you can see, obviously, I do a lot of video content in my office, and you can see same background, same audio. You know, I switch up my tonality just because it's the way I am. It's who I talk. It's like how I talk. But it's the same setting over and over again. The second I posted a video of here in Barcelona with a different audio, different sort of thing, slower, not so much education, 1,300
Damn.
views, right? That's the most viewed video that I've organically pulled, I think, since I've posted, right? Because I switched up that content type, okay? My next video, again, switched up the content type, 1,200 views. Next, 800. And I know that may seem like a lot, but I don't pull a lot of views.
So would it be good like do like the same angle until it gets used, and when it starts and when it stops getting used, change it up, or change it up from the beginning? Like have a lot of views from the beginning.
Don't worry so much about the angle, worry more about the style. So
Yeah.
I knew...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like have the same style until it stops pulling views, and then change it, or have multiple styles in the beginning.
Have multiple styles in the beginning,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Whenever, because like at the end of the day, your model's gonna, like, it can work, but your model's gonna get pissed off because it might take you, let's say, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks to crack the algorithm. What I mean by crack the algorithm is, if we go down here, when we started posting caption head videos and talking head videos, we were pulling less views than she was previously. And that is normal. That's going to happen. You can see this before we signed her, 11K, 26K, 8K, 8K, 7K. When we signed, switched the content type, now we're pulling 12K, 15K, not bad, but 5K, 5K, 8K, 21K, 11K.
Around the same views.
Around the same views,
a little bit lower.
some less, and that's what's scary, is you can switch the content types and models will get scary. So if we stuck with this, imagine how low those views would go, right? So you want to add multiple styles from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's why I always say create a content plan, share that ideology with your model, and make her know that we post talking videos, caption videos, and XYZ videos. And then from that point, you can simply just try every single one of them. So at this point, we were also trying these posing videos. You see these ones where she has her ass out doing something, but we are seeing what's working. 7K, 9K, 10K, and we realized that everything else was pulling more views, and we never posted a video again. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So we tested the standing videos. They didn't work compared to the talking videos, the caption videos, standing. Every single one of these other types of videos were pulling more views.
So you just test everything and keep what works, basically.
When you say everything, you're talking about the
all
styles
the styles,
you pick.
all the styles,
the ones that you pick from the market competitor research. So like I said, with this sort of girl, you want to go find pretty face blonde girls, research them, say, okay, pretty face blonde girls post gym posing videos, talking videos, caption videos, and whatever, Snapchat videos, right? Try those 4. You post 5 of each, Snapchat videos police, cut it immediately, right? And so many guys don't cut it. That's the problem. Is like, oh shit, I closed it out. But you saw there was 4 videos that went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I cut that after 4.
Yeah.
I saw that each one was 7K. I made the decision to cut it.
Don't spend too much time on the style.
Because some guys, they don't trust themselves. That's what the problem is. If they trusted themselves, like my confidence level is so confident that I know Instagram, because I do, right? But if you do not have that confidence to cut that content style, your model will get upset because she's seeing she is doing something that is not producing the same type as XYZ. It's funny actually because the agency owner, who was supposed to be the best at marketing, is making her do something that she is seeing as wrong.
And she'll leave eventually.
Exactly. So make sure that you actually know how to cut when you're doing that. But other than that, I really think that this girl's gonna fucking print. Let's see. Let's check out her OnlyFans. Is this linked to her OnlyFans?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I think she's running Telegram right now. Only Telegram.
Okay. Fansly.
Fansly.
She's got a Fansly.
Yeah, she's not using it. She's like more on Telegram. I think just linked it, but So it's like I'm more on Telegram right now and I don't run anything else.
Okay.
Like even her content, she doesn't post as often.
Mm-hmm. Very, very pretty girl, bro. And very explicit. I think she most definitely can print. You literally just need to clean up this as well. Profile picture, clean up. Username, clean up. Bio, obviously, once you sign, clean up.
Should I use her own profile? Like,
I would not log into this account.
yeah.
Keep this
Have
safe.
her do it?
Have her post. A lot of guys is another thing. A lot of guys in OFM think that it's so important to do all the work. Remember, you're 50-50, bro.
Yeah.
Or even 60-40.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. By no means am I saying agency owners should give 50% of the work to the model or even 10%. But if you can tell her, this is the thing. If I told you, basically, like, I want you to go to the gym, right? And I laid out your gym bag, I fucking put your gym shoes on, I gave you your car keys, I did everything I could, I made your pre-workout, and I told you, hey, instead of me driving, can you drive? You'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
That's the ideology with the models making in posting her own content. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna show you how, I'm gonna even send you a fucking ring light. I'm gonna make this as easy as possible. And you have
you're gonna do the final step.
Exactly.
Like, most important.
Exactly, because it is very, very critical. Because the last thing you want to do, Nick, especially with your situation with all the Instagram accounts getting banned, last thing you want to do is log this account and have no organic account. Because right now, Instagram, trust this. This has been Lola's account for, let's see, since 2020.
6 years.
For over 6 years, this has been Lola's account. Last thing you want to do is get it banned.
Yeah.
Now, will you log in this account eventually? Possibly. Not necessary though. For my biggest client that I did 230,000, I never logged into her main account once. Was it a bitch because she wouldn't listen to me about how and what to post? Of course. But if this girl's listening to you, you make it extremely easy. I promise you, it's gonna be so fucking easy just to tell her, hey, you're gonna go here and film her like this. Like this is where the SOPs come into place for Telegram. Show her how to film on Instagram, edit in Edits app, and do it. And if you don't know, do you have SOPs inside of your Telegram?
Inside of my Telegram, no.
Okay, so 3 things that I want you to make as well, and you do content distribution through Telegram, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 things that I want you to make, 3 SOPs for Telegram is how to film on Instagram and send it back to Telegram for the real accounts, which is simply, let me grab my phone up here, simply going to be, if you get a reel sent, click the audio, use audio, camera, hit record, and then make sure she has the Edits app downloaded, open in Edits. This is how you get the audio, because like a lot of girls like, how do I do the audio? How do I do this?
Yeah.
And then it should pop up and whatever. But like, let's say this next, and instead of clicking when you export the video, because once you click open in Edits, it'll have the audio, everything attached, lip sync, best quality. And even if you film it in 4K, you can export this in 4K, right? Export the video, and then instead of Instagram, download, and then it'll be right there in your camera, right?
Yeah.
Amazing quality for like all you guys, no watermark, no anything, perfect quality, easy as that, bro. So that's another thing. So how to film on Instagram. Another one is settings, very simple. You know that data and storage, using Wi-Fi, using simple, right? Another one, content. The idea of multiple takes, the idea of batch shooting. Do you have
Batch shooting?
Batch shooting. So
yeah,
you know that. You know batch shooting, but maybe what you don't know is multiple takes. Do your models send you multiple takes?
No, I haven't. So does multiple takes. Like I had some models saying like I sent one reel for her to do as an example, and she sent back like 15 reels, and I had to go over them. So I'm like just
15.
take like at least 2
Holy
of the
shit.
best ones. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting an overload of content, like whether like she's not knowing what to do, that comes from a lack of initial onboarding. That's why in the onboarding process, have that ideology meeting where you go over what that content is to the T. Like if I was telling you how to create inbound content for OFM, I would get so critical to the point where I would say, Nick, every video you have to address one problem. I don't care what it is, I want you to address one problem. Every video, I want you to make sure your background looks exactly like this. Every video, the light has to be here. Every single video, back camera, 5 feet in front of you. If you break down every detail, Are you going to sound repetitive? Is the model going to think you're doing too much? Yes. But next time she goes to film, is she going to put that light there? Is she going to put that phone? Yes. Right? So the video's going to turn out perfect. Then you get perfect videos. But then when it's a one-time perfect, what happened to the multiple takes, right? That's where this SOP comes in. I have a 15-minute recording of me talking about content distribution and how our agency uses content for her, but the first 5 to 6 minutes is me saying this. All in all, I'm going to wrap it up very shortly, is just saying you're going to spend an hour getting your makeup done. You're going to spend 20 minutes showering. You're going to spend 15, 30 minutes getting an outfit on. You're going to spend, whatever amount of time to make yourself feel and look pretty to actually film the content. It's going to take you 30 seconds to film it. That's it, right? Why do an hour and a half of prep for a 30-second video? And how long is it going to take you to film a second video? An additional 30 seconds. For literally just clicking record once again. So every single time, my models, if I send them, and usually I don't even send them Reels links anymore. I literally just send, hey, can I get 2 Snapchat verticals? Or can I get, more so you're going to have the simple ones where you can do that, where you don't have to send anything. It's like, hey, can I get 4 posing videos, right? She's going to send me fucking 5 to 8, right? Like, she's going to send me all multiple takes. And with those multiple takes, trial reels, stories, images, other social medias, threads.
Just push out content.
Just push content, bro. Because let's say let's just do the math on this. For an agency that's posting, let's say 30 times per week, let's see, on account, one model, let's say a model is posting, 30 times per week is about average. Times that by 4 weeks in a month, 120 videos are going out, let's just say just on Instagram, right? But if we get an additional for every one of those, 1 videos, let's say we get an additional 3, that's 30 times 3, 90 videos times that 4, we're putting out 360, right? So 360 minus 120, 240 extra videos per month, times that by 12, 2,880 videos every single year that we're pushing out with this client. Let's say on average, they only pull 9,000, right? That's very low. I'm pulling an additional 25 million views a year, which is not much. It's 9,000 views, but like on my model's pages, I'm usually gonna be pulling 50,000, which is 100 of fucking 40 million, bro. I'm winning compared to any of these agencies that aren't doing that. You have these slight edges.
It seems small, but when you actually
compound it, because like I guarantee you, if you implement this, you will be at like closer to 37 to 40K per month, like that. Just because you won't even realize it, but that extra 200,000 views, because like think about it, like 144 million, and let's say 1% convert to click the link, right? Which is so underwhelming. 1% of 144 million is 1.4 mil. 1.4 mil, let's say additional, 1% of 1.4 mil, 14,000 people sub. Say 14,000 people sub at $3. Extra $42,000 a year.
Subs.
Yeah, just from subs, and then you get an extra $3,500 a month from multiple takes. Yeah. It's a 10-minute SOP that makes an additional 35. That's the thing that people don't think about, bro. There's all these little shits. All right. Other than that, I think marketing. You guys want more detailed shit on marketing? There's tons of other videos on my channel, but Nick knows I'm not going to talk his ear off just for you guys. Now, when it comes to the roadmap, I honestly think it'd be more beneficial just to talk about these bottlenecks. So instead of like building out a roadmap, because fancy shit is not going to pay off that much. So for the chatters, we're going to launch this next model ASAP. We're going to test the phones. I want you to look into GLARK as well. I want you to look into research GLARK and test if phone connection is the reason. For the IG comments. So research that. Message me, of course, if you need to. But besides that, any questions regarding anything else? Because like really quickly recapping, once we have those 2 additional models, and you start putting them. Do you know how much she's making on Telegram right now?
She told me she's making 10K a month.
10K a month.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. So that already puts you at 40, and especially when you flip over to OnlyFans, you're going to be, borderline making more. Mm-hmm. So let's just say, let's look at your earnings. So 31 for plus an additional 10. honestly, I'd say once you flip over to OnlyFans, it's guaranteed you make at least another 2K a month. So that's $43,000 per month. And with marketing in that model, you can probably scale her easily to 20K.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put 20. I'm just gonna put like probably 18. But that's light work to scale that.
Yeah.
Scale that girl to
So
20K.
it's gonna get
Exactly.
closer, yeah.
With the multiple takes, your models are going to be sending more and more content. You're probably going to be pulling millions of views extra every single month from that. I'm going to assume from subs, because that $3,500 a month was strictly subs. Bro,
Yeah.
right? So if you do strictly subs, you have a 1-to-6 chatting ratio. So keep that number in mind, 49.4. So if you have a 3.5 in subs every single month, and this is like obviously across models, and then you add or multiply that by 6, $21,000 every single month. So 49.4 plus 21,000. Oh shit, 0. 70,400, right? So that's a 70,400. When you get that other model, you start scaling her.
Yeah,
These models are gonna scale. Replace the chatters as well. Gonna scale that the fuck up,
yeah.
bro. 5 months. $100,000 for you is so fucking plausible.
10 simple steps, man.
There you go. 1 through 8 right there.
10 simple steps.
Simple steps. Alright. Any questions, any clarifications, any concerns, comments?
Nah, so far I'm good. Everything's clear.
Okay, amazing. Well, let's see. Let's talk about hybrid content for a minute here. If you're who's doing the best with hybrid content right now?
The best model? Who's
Yeah.
The best? The one that I have on pictures. I think she's model number 2.
Okay. Is that what she looks like IRL?
Yeah.
Okay, very pretty
Like,
girl.
all those are AI generated. All
But
those
that
ones.
looks very similar to her.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
cool.
looks the same.
Same as her.
I won't
Amazing.
recognize, yeah.
Okay.
If you send me that on like chat, I won't recognize.
Okay, cool, bro. Cool. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. All right. What types of AI content are you doing for her, and what views are you pulling right now?
Well, besides the post that I've put on here, we're doing reels. Like we can do talking. Talking is like a high one. Like I can have talking. She can be in the car. She can be. I can put her anywhere in the world because she's a model. Like she's telling me that I can't go out. I'm shy. I'm just gonna put her out with AI talking.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if it's a model that has like an accent, that like I can lower her resume and just like change her voice.
Yeah.
And just have her like talk with an American voice, American accent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of content I'm doing mostly with AI.
Yeah.
So I look at what model, like what she lacks of. Is she lacking of talking? Is she lacking of like having a good background? Is she lacking of, I don't know, anything? I just fix that with AI.
That's exactly how I do it. Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, that's the whole point of we're doing it. Obviously, volume that's gonna go across the board. Yeah. But like, what you're saying, if the model has a lame life, put her in Europe. Fucking
Exactly.
Put her right here in the seat.
We can be AI.
Replace
We're
Nick.
AI.
We're AI. This whole video is fake, guys.
It's AI.
Whole video is fake. No. But yeah, I think just captivating off her weak points is very, very smart.
Yeah.
Besides that, I think ramping up the AI content, and then also maybe having a discussion with that UK model once you sign her and sort everything. Say, hey, listen, we want to do this AI hybrid content. Ask for the extra 5%. She says no, do it anyways. She says yes, free 5%, exactly. Right? And then from there, might be instead of 74, might be at 72, right?
I don't know.
Very, very easy, right? But I really do see, and then once you're at like, let's just say in 70, and you're going to be there, like I can almost guarantee you're going to hit 70K by April, May, June, I say minimum July.
Mm-hmm.
You could be at 70K if this UK model works out.
Yeah.
And what I mean by works out, not really talking regarding you, talking regarding her workable, coachable, motivated, things like that. But besides that, you're running GFE for all these girls. Any weird niches I should know about?
No.
Okay. So, OF conversion. Have we struggled with that? What do you know your standard?
Some models, yeah, it can be like 3 to 4%.
Okay, so actually, I mean, like, sauce for the fans. My bad, call y'all fans. That's good. No. You were saying about an A/B testing. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah.
That's what I do,
Yeah.
but I don't have it automated.
Yeah.
So start doing that for sure as A/B tests. And what if you guys don't know what we're talking about? Essentially, one like if I mean you can explain it
A/B testing.
for the link conversions, like how
Yeah.
that was doing.
You have the link conversion on Instagram, and you can have like you can find a link service on there that's gonna have A/B testing, or you can do it yourself. But I found it automated. So basically, what you can do is like say, okay, I want 50% of the people that click on the link to get version 1, 50% of the people get version 2, and it compares like what has like one has 5.5 conversion rate, the other has 10. You're gonna keep the 10, and then you can A/B test that so you can increase it even more. And that's how it works. Like you need to test everything. You always want to go for higher numbers. Like why settle for like a 5%, 6%? Even if the standards of the industry say it's good, just go for more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Genius. Okay. Also, I know we didn't add this, but I really do think here's another thing about scaling that eliminate content OF hire accounts manager / add to chat managers to dos. So the thing about scaling, Nick, like what took me from, and I'm not gonna say what took me from 100 to 250 because what took me from 100,000 to 250,000 was partnering. You know, I can't just
Yeah.
be like, oh, go partner with that agency,
Yeah.
right? No. But what took me from 50 to 100 was eliminating. I remember this so vividly. I remember sitting in my office and I said, I'm doing everything I can. You're gonna hit 50K here in about 2 to 3 months, and we're not gonna have anything to talk about. I will not find much shit in your agency. Maybe one or two things, but it's not going to amplify your revenue, right? Only thing that is going to amplify your revenue is the things growing the business. Right now, what you are doing is you are putting, I would say, 70% of your time into maintaining, 30% into scaling. It needs to be totally flipped. 20% into maintaining, 80% into scaling. So, unlike other gurus online, I'm going to tell you what scaling is. Scaling is assets. What are assets? IG accounts, promotional accounts, model accounts. I have a model account that is verified, that has existed for over 6 years, that has over 300,000 followers, that if I post a reel on it, it will pull organic views and go viral.
Yeah.
And it is half AI, half real. No model is assigned to it. It's not a real person, right? So I use that for outreach. That's what's called a high asset. Because if you get outreach to by a 300,000 follower model account,
You're like, what the fuck?
she's answering,
Yeah,
right? So if you want this client, she's got 30,000 followers, you don't want to take the risk, we have an asset that will guarantee us a reply, right?
Yeah.
And then we have an SOP for funneling, right? That's one for acquisition. Let's talk about the middle line of process, marketing, okay? Campaigns, accounts, promotional accounts, buying these promotional accounts, creating relationships with people that own kind of, I would say, ecosystems of accounts. I have a guy that I know that does sports betting promotions, so like stake, rain bet, like all of that I pay every single month just to use his accounts as an asset for my models. So anytime I get a new signing, I can guarantee growth now because I have these assets in place that I can just say, yo, bro, I want you to promote on these 3 accounts right here because this is my niche. These pages usually go along with it. And these stake accounts can post anything. Sports betting, drunk clips, hot bitches, little anything. That's why I choose them, right? Because if you do a babe page, like everyone when I say assets is like, oh, I'm gonna make a babe page. Bro, you're not getting conversions from a babe page. But if you have a hot ass girl in a hot ass video and it gets 5 million views and the first thing in the caption is her ads, you're blowing the fuck up, right? And even from scratch on a private account, bro, you see some like a video gets 5 million views and you see a bitch with a fat ass and the account's private, you're following her.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So another example of an asset. Moving into OnlyFans, KPIs, everything like that. Assets can also be people. Hiring an account manager, that's an asset because it eliminates yourself. Anything that gives light to scaling the agency is an asset. Why is that an asset? Is the account manager scaling the agency? No. But you are, and he's giving you your time back to do that job.
Yes.
Okay?
It's an asset.
Exactly. So that's one thing I want you to focus on once you hit around 50. What's going to take you from 31 to 50 is cleaning up these edges, solidifying those bottlenecks so that they don't happen anymore, and then making sure that we actually just kind of across the board are clean. And then what's going to take you from 50 to 100 is investing your time into those assets and growing those social media pages.
They have more time to scale. Like,
way more.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Because right now, you know, you're messaging Theo about this and that and that. Your mind is everywhere, as it should be. I was there at 30K, right?
Yeah.
If I told you, that's a lot of thing about, like, you know, the coaches in general. They will coach you on how they run their agency. If I did that right now, you would get no value from it.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you can't do what I do.
The same thing doesn't work on everyone.
Exactly, right? And it matters entirely about where you're at.
Yeah.
And you at your point right now cannot focus on hiring somebody here, doing that. You're just gonna lose fucking money.
Exactly.
You're not gonna put time. As of right now, a lot of tasks still do require your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But once you hit 50K, then it's investing into assets. Heavy. Reinvestments, also very important. At least 20% of agency revenue that comes towards you should be put back into the business. What does that look like? Promotions for new clients, promotions for collabs as well, like hiring. If you wanted to turn a girl into an influencer, you can now do that because you have a bank. And listen, also, when I say reinvesting, bro, something that I had to get over, like when I was at like 70K, 75K, I thought reinvestment means I had to spend it. You don't. Mistake that I meant. There has been many months where I have literally spent like 10 grand on shit that did nothing because my mindset was I have to spend 20%. But no, make a separate, you have an LLC at this point, make a separate business bank account, a sub account is what it's called. Call it reinvestment account, whatever you want to call it. Just put 20% in that.
Yeah.
That way, if you need to spend more money one month, you have it there, right? And other than that, bro, I mean, like, once you get to that 50K, shit, we might make another video, like, mid-break.
No, stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that one. But, anything else, bro? Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think for now that's good.
All right.
Like, I just need to get the bands out the way.
Yeah.
That's my main focus.
The bands is honestly like a big thing that's going on right now.
It's a big limiting factor. Like, I can't start on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. And I wish this video was somehow magic and we could, like, cut back right now to after you've done this and then talk about the next problem shit. But, like, there's only so much we can do to just this information here. Trying to see if there's anything else that I really want to talk about. And also, boys, and I've already taught you this, Nick knows this, but for you guys, breaking up your agency to how Nick's done. Nick is actually the one who built this whole agency overview thing. And, you know, student of mine does this coach, bro. Statistics, which is going to be his models, his income, his social media. Process, which is going to be your OnlyFans, your like conversion, your OF page, and you have your outcome, which is going to be tracking what we measured. This is going to tell you what to do with this in pattern recognition. This is going to be basically, you know, look at it, what splitting it up does into 3 parts. It allows your mind just to be clear, right? You can say, okay, I have a problem here. Is it affecting my process? No. Okay, that means it's strictly this. I have a problem in the process. Is it even a problem in the process, or is it a problem happening in the income,
exactly.
right?
You can find everything.
You can find it a lot quicker. And also, bro, like just kind of future PSA, make sure, I know that, like, I feel like this is a lot of business owners' problems is they, like you were saying earlier, they look at such a big problem, sign a client, fix XYZ, fix YZX, instead of this is going to relate to that, to fix XYZ to that, to this, it layers, bro. And also, one more thing is, throughout this whole scaling process, you're going to notice that you are slowly but surely growing farther away from your agency. So what I mean by that is every single beginner, you are right here to your agency. You're touching it, you're fixing it, you're working on it, you're doing everything, right? But if I was doing that at $250K a month, I wouldn't be able to film content. I wouldn't be able to have time to fly you out. I wouldn't be able to have time to do any of this, right? So clearly, I'm all the way fucking over here, right? But how is the agency getting done? Well, that's what I'm talking about in layers. So first layer that you're going to have is SOPs. Everything teaching the agency what to do, right? Second to that, you have VAs executing those SOPs to then execute on the agency, right? So right now we have 2 layers now. Well, then you're still here managing the VAs. You're not a business owner yet. Then you have obviously chatters. You can call this whatever you want. Let's just say chats. Managing the VAs. Obviously, this can kind of fall into there. Whatever. But then you're going to have your managers. So your content manager, your chat manager, your account manager, communicating with those VAs and also those chatters, right? So now you have multiple layers. And then it's you. And at the point where I'm at, I have this, and I have a fucking ops director. So I communicate with this guy to communicate with the manager, right?
Yeah.
So now I work maybe, I know I say all the time, like 2 to 4 hours a day. Some days I don't need to work.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
you see me on
That's
this
the
trip.
point. That's
Have
the
I been
point.
working all the
Yeah,
time?
that's the point. No.
Exactly. I have been taking calls with students. I have mainly been working on, like, before I left this trip, I spent 4 to like 6 days on a Miro board planning out till July.
Yeah.
Everything. Because that's my job as the business owner to make sure that I'm collecting enough preparation time and looking at places that I can add more assets, eliminate unuseful tasks, scale the agency. That's my job. And I take that extremely seriously. But when it comes to after that job is done, you don't have much to do. That's why I'm not always on phone calls with models. I don't take that. I have a business partner who I say, hey, I want you to take all of the, non-negotiable calls. What a non-negotiable call is, what we title it in my agency, is just any call that the model has to communicate through us for, whether it's importance, whether it's just for professionalism, whatever, right? But you want to eventually create layers within inside of your agency, and you'll learn that going along the way. But yeah, bro. Other than that, I'm fucking excited to see everything play out. I think you have an absolute gold mine that you're sitting on, bro.
Put in now.
You have tons of work to put in.
Now.
Tons of work to put in. I'm gonna stop the screen recording. It's been, let's see, the hour and 43 minutes, bro. Holy shit. Well, I mean, in July, we'll see if it actually paid off. If this was worth it. I think 100%, bro.
I think we're gonna go even more than 100K.
Bro, you're gonna be like 150. Shit, bro. Surpass my ass.
Who knows?
He might be the new coach. He might take over Griffin.
What is his
Switch the spots, bro. That's funny as hell. All right, yeah, bro. Other than that, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, your commitment at the end of the day, boys, no matter what information a guy is given, no matter what systems, no matter what anything somebody is given, it is not that person's responsibility or, let's say, association to their success. It is strictly Nick. If Nick didn't work, if Nick didn't put in the time, if Nick didn't overcome the mindset beliefs, if Nick didn't do the shit that Nick did, he wouldn't fucking be here. I've given the same information to multiple people, and not everyone is in his position right now. And that simply is down to the simple factor is if you don't put in the work, you don't dedicate yourself to it, it's not gonna happen. So, overall, bro, congratulations to you. You're a fucking G. You put in the work every single day. I was sitting here. I mean, obviously, I work a lot with YouTube. I have to work to keep my mental sane.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I'm sure a lot of you guys working. But Nick's always working on the agency. Fucking, at the end of the day, I got nothing else to say, but I'm proud of you, bro, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And yeah, anything else? Last words?
Stay tuned in July.
That's right. All right, boys. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
See you.